Yeah, welcome again for everyone joining later, watching the recording. Welcome again for all of you joining me here live to the masterclass on creative AI prompting. We will be doing several things. The main thing is we're really looking at how to learn to surf the wave of AI. So you see that image of the wave, and I think really AI is that like wave that's coming in. And instead of be swallowed by it, I want to provide some frameworks on how we actually learn to ride it. Then we're going to learn some best prompting principles, talk about that, but I'm also going to share a framework with you. And then you will be crafting your own personalized AI prompt. There will be an experience in this session so you can really see how that works for you. And I invite you to stay creative. So please turn off all distractions, especially in such a digital workshop. It's, I think, highly important to stay focused. So please turn off the chats, turn off the browsers. Just stay here and maybe have some writing materials ready on your side so you can really like mark down interesting ideas that I'm sharing here. And yes, this presentation is co-created with AI, which was a whole little experience I had, my first AI generated presentation, because I thought I'm going to just like, ramp up my game of AI and I'm going to share this story and what I've learned from it also with you in a second. So why are we here? All these fancy images AI gave me. You are probably here because you are curious about the potentials of AI. Like you want to see what's out there and you want to learn how to use it. But you might be also like be aware of the risks and dangers of AI. Like you see the wave, you see the power that the wave has in like transforming, but also like in, having other impacts on our lives. And lastly, you probably want to learn creative AI prompting because that's what the class is called. And you might want to learn these tools. Mm. And what are we doing here? There will be three parts of this workshop. The first one is me teaching the best prompting practices, telling stories of what I learned in my practice as a creator working with AI. And then we will be training together. So really like working the muscle of working with AI, and you will be working on your own creative prompt. And lastly, there will be some talking, there will be questions and time for exchange later. And who am I? Many of you don't know me, I think. Some of you I've met. So this is me doing my main work, which is graphic recording and visual facilitation. So this is really the thing that I've been doing over the last like 7 years. I was working a lot as a graphic facilitator and trainer and coach. And I guess I was always just very into creativity and creative tools. So visualization was one creative tool that really helped me to express my ideas and to, like work on them. But I kept really collecting all kinds of tools, and AI is kind of the latest tool. But for quite a while, I was just really into visualization. And I was quite successful at that, but a little bit unfulfilled. Maybe you've read my little story in my newsletter where I shared like I was doing good money, it was great. I'm going to these conferences with visual recording, but I'm actually more passionate about coaching and teaching people, I realized. And for quite some time I was stuck because I didn't really know how marketing worked. Like visual stuff was easy, it was just like pouring in, but I didn't really have agency in like creating my own products and marketing myself like I'm doing it now. And I really wanted to coach and teach more. That was like my objective. And for quite some while, I was stuck. I didn't really know how to do it. But then I kind of like got the AI game a little bit. And I was like, can I not just like use AI to reinvent my business? And that's what I did. I started teaching myself what I now call creative AI prompting. And it really helped me to build a new business. And that's the story I want to share with you here, just to show you the little steps that I've been doing. And I just reviewed them actually as I prepared for this presentation. And it was fun to see also just like, the chat backlog and to see, oh, wow, all of that happened. Mm. So back at the time, that's me working in my co-working space. I thought, okay, can this tool not just give me like a perfect strategy? Because I pretty much know what I want, like where I want to be. I want to coach more. I want to try like visual coaching. I want to teach more. So can it just not tell me how to do it? And so I asked it, hey, I'm a graphic facilitator and I want to reinvent my business. Here's everything about me. Of course, that was a really, really long prompt, and I really gave it like all of my information and my goals and my struggles. But that was kind of like the thing I just said. And what came out was pretty good already. It gave me like a broader roadmap, but of course, it was hard to apply it. So I was like, okay, can you now become my strategic advisor and help me create a 4-month strategy? So of course the prompt was longer than that, but that's roughly the assignment I gave it. And that plan was even more concrete and helped me to like, I have this time frame of 4 months. And I was like, cool, I see the steps. And then I asked it one last thing. I asked it, now tell me exactly what to do each day, minute by minute, to execute the strategy. And that was really cool. I have the whole thing still like on one of my note-taking apps because it really told me like day one, spend 60 minutes doing that, then 20 minutes doing that. And I just like, I had this time chunk of like 1 to 2 hours a day to just reinvent my business because I had a lot of spare time and I thought, cool, I'm just going to spend first hour in the morning just working on my business and following the steps. And I was just like, filling in the blanks. I didn't really have to think much more. And it really enabled me to, yeah, relaunch my business. And I got quite some results from that. So after 1 month, I kind of like started creating content because that was part of the strategy I got. And after 2 months, I already sold my first visual coaching. I was like, cool, I'm kind of like like beginning to understand the game of how to promote a product and how to get it out there. So that was supporting. And then I just continued and it told me like now design a coaching program out of it. And I was like, cool, I'm going to do that. I designed my first coaching program. And actually, this April, I launched my first program. It's called Venture. It has 12 participants and I made like 8,000 euros from it. So I'm just like showing you like the success I've gained from this, like just working with AI and like using it as my strategic advisor. And some of you are in my venture course, so I'm happy you're here as well because yeah, it's fun. It's like a full circle. I don't know if you read it in my newsletter, but it's really like the program I'm now having in venture is kind of just a program I did myself. Like the 4 month like strategy I followed, I just like turned into this course because I was like, cool, that worked out so well. Let's make it a course. Of course, then I activated, of course, like as well my human intelligence throughout the process and just like took the parts that I really liked. But many exercises were really inspired by this strategic advisor AI that I built myself. And it just like had information about business that I didn't have before. So that was my little success, like my external success. But my internal success is even cooler because now I'm really helping creators to express their essence. And I feel way more connected to my purpose. Like I love doing these master classes. I love running venture. It doesn't feel like work anymore. It really feels like passion. And I kind of realize more and more that's what I want to create in the world, a passionate world where we all co-create solutions together. And I think using AI intelligently has the potential for all of us to express our essence more effectively. And actually, it really feels like this is the golden age of creation. like throughout the internet, it got easier and easier to do your own thing because information was available on YouTube and these kind of things. And I always loved learning. But now I'm like, wow, this is a whole new level. Like literally everything I can imagine, I can just learn with AI and um, improve with AI. So it's in some ways, of course, it's a very dark age these days, politically, globally. I am aware of that. But in other ways, if we want to create, if we really want to bring solutions to the world, I think it's the golden age of creation. And we just didn't have not fully understand how much potential there is in this tool. Because I also see that in business coaching, I'm getting like so many questions. I'm like, wow, interesting, you could ask AI with that. I'm even a bit like wary to introduce that because I'm like, of course, afraid I will like make my job useless as well. But then I realized it's all about sharing these tools here. And yeah, there's a lot to share. So I started just with this masterclass actually to teach AI skills, and it's such an interesting journey because yeah, I'm really being confronted with this whole like societal debate, which is interesting. And as a matter of fact, as I was promoting this masterclass, I was posting on social media. That was like the image. You maybe have seen it. And there was a comment from a person that said AI prompting is like the exact opposite of creativity. And that made me think. This whole thing actually turned into a whole shitstorm, and I was like really argumenting with a lot of people about will it kill or will it catalyze creativity? That was kind of like the question I got out of it. And I started thinking and also like looking at myself because I definitely see both sides. I do see how it sometimes kills my creativity because I'm just like taking the shortcut. Just like letting it write a piece of content and just posting it, and then I'm realizing, shit, what did I just write? I don't even know. Like that happened to me, and I think in these cases it actually definitely killed my creativity. But of course, as I just showed you, it also catalyzes our creativity. Um, and in this masterclass, I'm just showing both, I think, practices on how we can make it into a catalyzer and not a killer. So yeah, the wave of AI is here and it has a lot of ethical dilemmas. I'm aware of that. That could be a whole other another discussions of like the future of so many things that are impacted by AI. And of course, it has a huge impact on the job market, which is maybe more relevant for us here, working in all kinds of fields, working as freelancers. We really have to think, like me as a graphic recorder, I'm really seeing like how AI could probably take that over within a few years because like I could explain a machine how to do it, an intelligent machine. So it has consequences, but it also has a lot of potential. Like I really see how this could bring solutions for systems change, which is, I guess, my ultimate goal, and for many of us, we want to create a new society. And the thing I'm most passionate about right now is it really helps us to express our essence. As I told you, I discovered this is more and more my purpose, and yeah, I love that. I love going into creative flow and just having, yeah, just like being able to express my ideas without having like these blockages. And I think it became easier with AI to overcome these blockages. So to sum it up, just to like sum up the big picture view here, yes, there are some creative dangers, but there's also like a lot of creative chances that we have when using AI. And the key really lies in learning creative AI prompting, learning to use that tool, because it's like with any other tool, it can, yeah, like it's just like something you gotta learn. Um, so the image that came up for me to not be swallowed by the wave, but to ride the wave. And here we see it's an AI-generated image. This guy is just riding the wave without a surfboard. Doesn't make sense. I still like the colors. Um, I think it's helpful to see AI as like this creative co-pilot. So always seeing yourself as the pilot, but having that like pretty cool co-pilot next to you to help you navigate, where you can also delegate tasks. And I've created 4 roles together with AI that I think summarize how I'm using this tool mostly. First, as a catalyzer, because I think if it does one thing well, it really like speeds up things and you can outsource boring tasks. You like if you don't like something, like if you don't like creating presentations, like this one, you can just like outsource this task. I quite like design, but I definitely like I was like one click, I just gave it a list. I'll show you how in a second. And it created all these fancy images. So that definitely saved me quite some time and catalyzed, like my creativity. Then I use it a lot as a consultant. So just like to ask all kind of questions around, tax and tech and all these questions I used to Google and then like, like looking, like reading posts to find the answer. I would now just ask AI and I would get the answers. And I keep finding fields where I can just ask AI. The other day I had a car thing and like usually I would call my dad for car advice and then I asked the AI. Maybe also a bit sad, like the thing when we don't ask for directions anymore because we have Google Maps, but it helped me to solve my car problem more quickly. Then I use it as a coach. And so that was the example of the strategic advisor. So really asking deep questions and like not having it like do it for you, but like asking you deeper questions, reflecting your thinking. And lastly, it can be a co-creator, like not the creator, but a co-creator. It can really um, spark the flow. It can give you new frameworks. It can teach you new things, and it can create images. Like the whole wave, actually. I don't even know how that came on there. Um, well, I guess I had something about the wave of AI in my presentation, but then I got the images of the wave, and I was like, cool, such a nice metaphor. Like riding the wave is powerful. So in that moment, it really, yeah, just gave me a new idea that I could then work on. So yeah, I want to give you a few examples of how I use AI with like specific prompts that I've been just using lately. Then I want to show you how I created that presentation, and then we will practice a prompt together. So how I use AI in my personal life, something I really started doing a lot is like this has become my new like reading. Like I love to read nonfiction books and these concepts, but of course they're very long. And I'm still reading books, of course, but I often tell it, hey, become the author of book X and give me a summary of that book. And then I'm just having that conversation with the author and I'm saying like, this is my case and how can I use like the insight of your book in my case? And that's like so much more custom tailored. So I think it's a really whole new level of like accessing information because books are just like written for a broad audience. And by that, I can use the agile intelligence to really speak to my specific needs. So reading is fun. Then recently I was really looking for news channels. I am quite into global politics, especially like lately, and there's so much happening, of course, that I want to understand. And reading, I still read news, but sometimes like they're not commented. It's hard to find like deeper insights. So I just like realized I can just ask AI. So I'm like asking, hey, tell me what happens in geopolitics last week and give me context. And that's really helpful. Like I'm really, for the first time, I feel politically educated in my life because I can just like go for my curiosity and I'm like asking about the root causes of certain conflicts or like why are tariffs so important these days, like it's just like so much better than just like having that one-way news channel. So I like that. And another thing that's also related to politics is I'm sometimes creating these like political panel discussions where I'm saying things like, have Barack Obama, Harari, and Ken Wilber debate on the future of humanity. And then I'm asking like, yeah, let them like agree and argue. And it's really cool to see these different perspectives. It's definitely enriching. So Katja is asking if I ever cross-check the information I'm getting there. Well, I wouldn't say I'm taking all of the information. I'm generally trusting the things. Of course, when there's like something where I kind of like wonder, is that true? I would go in deeper. But you are pointing to an important thing here, which is these are not thinking beings. These are just probability machines. So they make stuff up. And that's definitely a danger, yeah, that I should probably like include somewhere. There is the
Yes.
danger of like, yeah, do you want to say something to it?
Yes, and also you always have all the biases we put into our work and living, and AI takes this. And for me, a good idea also in prompting is to avoid these biases, and there are more than 150 of them. So it's hard to do a proper prompt. For example, if you want to create a visual of a professor, you will most likely get a white old man there. So
Yeah.
things like that. And if you don't have this in the back of your mind, you will not change that image or
Yeah,
change your
totally.
prompt.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it. That was kind of like the point of ethical dilemmas. I know there's so much to say about all these things, but yeah, it's true. It reinforces stereotypes. The information is biased on the data. Like I could have a whole masterclass just on like, what is wrong with AI and how is it really like reinforcing certain threats. For this masterclass, I try to focus on the creative use, but yeah, it's a good one. I would be also curious, like how can we prompt it to be less biased? That would be an interesting question to ask. So yeah, there is a lot of danger, but let's focus on the creative side. And later there will be a bit of a like roundtable discussion, so we can also like see if there are more like ideas we have on how to deal with the ethical dilemmas. So I want to continue. These were like personal, just examples that I have using AI, and then just like going to the professional things. I showed you these things already. I use it for business strategy, give me a strategy for the next 4 months. I use it often for learning skills. Like as I learned this new business, I need to learn marketing. So I was like, tell me the core concepts of marketing and how I can apply them in my case. And that like I was so enriching. Finally, like I tried to learn marketing before, but you always get these like boring business Excel spreadsheets, and I never really got that. And this time I could really like create this like creative, holistic thinking, spiritual thinking marketer on my side, and I learned a lot here about that. And just recently, I'm more into content writing. I never wrote before, but I love it. And I use AI, to give me content structure and also feedback my writing. So that's the latest skill I'm learning. And this, I will have another master class on learning skills because I love learning skills. I especially love, like looking at all the things we're doing and then like deconstructing them and see how is this actually working? Like when I created this presentation, I was like, what is actually a good presentation? I've kind of like, I was like creating slideshows. So I was asking AI, can you support me in that? And created this whole like 4-step sequence that I want to share with you here. It was 4 steps. So the first step was really for me to spark creation mode. And I went to ChatGPT, that was the free version. And I just asked it, and that's just the screenshot of the prompt. Give me well-known and proven frameworks on how to structure a presentation in a way that involves a lot of storytelling and has like an ongoing narrative. Like you even see how I wrote that. It was like a really quick thing because I'm into storytelling. I'm beginning to understand more and more that we can learn how to do presentations in like opening up a problem and speaking to that, and it gave me different frameworks because I just wanted to learn more frameworks, and I chose one of them. So the fourth one it gave me was this SCQA framework, situation, complication, question, answer. And I was like, cool, I just want to try that. And for me, that was a nice way to get started because then I already had a framework that I could fill in. And then I just, what I took out of that was like, I got initial inspiration and I overcame this blank page resistance. Whenever you create something new and there's this blank page, you want to create a presentation, it's like, oh my God, where to start? And that helped me to like, cool, now I have a framework. I'm just going to use that as my creative container. And I learned that new presentation framework. Now I can see how I like it, how I don't like it. But yeah, that's definitely something where it sparked my creation process. And then I used that framework and I just filled in my content. So I wrote a lot. I just like, situation. I filled in the bullet points to all these things, complication, where do I see complications? What questions do I have? And what are the answers? And then I created this whole like the four roles, the four modes I co-created. I had like AI as my sparring partner, and I could really use this as a creative constraint that helped me to narrow down my focus for this presentation and just go into creative flow. There was no resistance anymore. I could just like fill in the blanks of these like four questions. I could type them in, and it was such a cool experience. I just like kept on writing, and I knew I would be putting this later into AI, so I didn't even have to design it. I was just like really writing a very long kind of list and had AI as my sparring partner on the side, like kept asking it questions, like the prompt principle that I want to show you later is also co-created with AI. I got some insights on that. And whenever there was a question, I would just like, ask my co-pilot, hey, do you have any idea? And then taking that idea and writing it into my own thing. But of course, I kept writing my own thing because it could have been also really promising to just like, say like tell AI, okay, now create a presentation for me that answers these questions. And then I would have something soulless. I wouldn't have my content in there. It would just like speak of general things. So that's the danger. And yeah, then I took this list and I went over to this app called Gamma app. I just recently discovered it and I was like, cool, I'm gonna try that out. Went to Gamma app, and just, got my whole list that I wrote in there, copy pasted it, and it gave me like this presentation that you now see. I could like choose the style, and I was like, cool. I also wanted to try out more these like vibrant, futuristic colors, and it just gave me that. And that was pretty cool because I just got a new style and inspiration. So that's really something I'm taking here from using this app. Like I still like my usual presentation style, but it gave me new ideas on how to structure information and how to, use these neon colors in a way that's kind of like not too much. So that was working with Gamma app. I can recommend it. There's a free version and with credits, and after a while you have to pay. But if you don't like design and presentations, this app is pretty cool. Yeah, and then the last step, I of course edited this presentation. So it gave me kind of like that. And then I still, of course, like got in my own content, got in my own photos, and really like stayed the final editor and the final refiner, which I think is crucial. So I edited the final version, but in the end, I think I saved a lot of time because all this design work, how long it takes to like create an outline and these things, I could just like outsource to my design department, so to say. And now I have a pretty fancy presentation and got new design ideas. Like, I don't know if I will stick to that, but I definitely like enriched my perspective. Like, I love learning. And here I think I learned something new on how to create presentations, which I love. Like this little diagram it gave me, and I was like, cool, I never had such a thing. So here I just want to show you the 4 steps that I've been taking again. And I think it really neatly shows how a good co-creation process can look like. So on the left side, you have the AI, and that gave me the first inspiration. The framework came by AI. I didn't create that, but then I used my human intelligence, my brain, to fill in my content in this framework. And then I fed it back to AI and said, like, let's design and refine it. And really got this first presentation design draft by AI, which created this presentation, outsourced a little bit of time for me. And lastly, I did the final editing and touches. And I think that's really that's my learning out of this process. Like I kept realizing how I wanted to take the shortcut and just stay on the left side and say like, cool, take that framework, create a presentation, and then, like design a presentation out of it. And maybe in the future, even like do the masterclass for me so I don't even have to do it anymore, right? Like that's like I see myself being drawn into that direction of just like totally outsourcing my thinking here. So I think it requires presence to stay the final editor, stay the pilot, and really ask yourself, okay, do I like that? Like, do I like that image here of this person with the dark screen? Or is that just like AI telling me I like that? So I think critical thinking is like a key concept also with what Katja just said, right? Like having your critical mind hyperactive these days when working with I think is a best practice. So yeah, did it catalyze or kill my creativity? I think because I was so aware of my process, like I was literally like writing the things down, I could really use it as a catalyzer, but I did see the dangers of like, like losing my design abilities. Like I love creating presentations, and in this moment, I really just yeah, almost outsourced this
Oh,
thing.
bitte
And
halt die
like,
Pappen.
I'm gonna mute you, Nicholas. I think that was not for us. Yeah, cool. So yeah, creative dangers are stay critical, don't outsource your critical thinking, stay the pilot, have AI always as your co-pilot and collaborator, but never give it like the driver's seat, and stay editing your work. Cut it short, but don't take shortcuts. That was kind of like a frame that came to me. Like use it where it can help you, but don't try to take the shortcut and not think about the content anymore. But yeah, creative prompting is amazing because just by writing the prompt, you will get so much more clarity and creativity. And that's what we're going to try out in a second. Often for me, I'm writing all these, it's like, back in school, my teachers always encouraged us to, write little cheat sheets because they said by writing the cheat sheet, you will memorize the content and then you won't need the cheat sheet anymore. And it's the kind of same thing for writing a prompt. When I'm writing like a long prompt, I'm often like getting so many ideas already that I don't even have to put that in. Mm. But still, it's kind of nice because I think if you use prompting right, it can really be like a journaling 2.0 because it has a feedback loop. So, I mean, journaling is a pretty old technology, and it's great to use it to get your thinking on paper. And I think now we have this like new way of journaling where we can actually get a feedback on our thinking and then refine it. And it's really like, it can really bring us in this creation mode a lot. And lastly, yeah, I think it can really unleash your creativity because you can just like literally ask anything. And this anything is, I think, something we still like gotta learn. Like I keep having amazing ideas of what I can ask it. And I think later in the discussion, we can also really share other cool things that we've tried. I think it's really limitless of what you can try here. So yeah, that was a lot on the dangers and chances for creativity. And now I want to look at you with you at prompting. And I first want to ask you, like Katja, to open the chat and to answer that question for all of us. What do you think is a creative prompt? What makes up a good creative prompt? And just let's gather a little bit of our knowledge here. And in a second, I will also show you how like what I've discovered as a good prompt, but I just felt I've been talking for quite a while and became obvious that there are many skilled thinkers here. So Mike is saying specificity, getting clear, as clear in ourselves as possible in regards to what we want and being able to communicate this clearly. Yeah, that's nice because it points to this, you know, this moment where writing the prompt will help you to become more clear. Claude writes, a prompt that guides the AI to support you like you would expect them from a real assistant. Yeah, that's also like an image that really helped me a lot to just like think of these assistants. Be specific, describe exactly. Yes, one more point on that. Something to spark your imagination, inspire original thinking. That makes me curious of like, I think that's an outcome. And like now we're wondering like, how can we like, what is that something that sparks imagination? And I guess a prompt that gives you the output that you really need. Yeah, that's also a good one because, of course, a creative prompt means it's creating something. So either way, it's creative because it's creating something, but yeah, the more that's aligned to your outcome. Catalyze my thinking beyond my current horizon. Another outcome. And again, Caro writes, being as specific as possible about what you're looking for in the style of for XY audience, in which context and situation. That's great. I'm going to give the one a little heart because that's a perfect transition into the thing that I have created for you. So I watched quite a few videos on what's a good prompt, and then I summarized all of that, and then I co-created with AI a little framework, which is an acronym, because those who follow me know I love acronyms. So the acronym I created is the craft concept because that's all about. Yeah, Claude is laughing because she knows she knows my acronyms already. So yeah, it's all about crafting here, and every letter stands for a step for a good prompt. So C is context. That's what Caro just said, and what context are you? And we're gonna practice this just now, so you will see what that means. Then R is role. That's something you've seen a lot of my prompts before. It's like you are my strategic advisor, you are XYZ. Like give it a specific role is always pretty good because then the machine can act out of that framework. Then that's the key, of course, an assignment. Like without a clear task, there's nothing to do. So give it a clear assignment. And I think what you all said about being specific and describing exactly what you want is important here. And then lastly, the formatting, the framing, kind of like the tone, the style you want to have, because it can do all these styles, right? Like can be very formal, can be very technical, can be very emotional. And you really got to find like the right words to, you know, give a like get the style that you like. And that's I guess experience based, which is also why the last principle is just like to tweak and to iterate. So not just working with the first response, but keep on iterating, like I did it with my strategy. Like the first strategy was okay, but then I made it more concrete and said, like, give me 4 months, give me a topic for each month and these kind of things. And then I iterated even more and said, okay, now give me every day. So I think the more you have these iterations, the closer you get to your result. It's rare that the first response is really satisfying. So yeah, and that was cool to create this little acronym because like I pretty much knew what I wanted to say and I had these like different acronym ideas, but then I could like just gave that to AI and it gave me a whole list of acronyms, and in the end, I created the craft principle, which I think is cool because then we can remember it better. And the next time you write a prompt, you can just like write craft, and then you can like fill in the blanks. Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do now. So this is the practice time. We have about 10 minutes, and we're gonna write a prompt together. So I invite you to first, somewhere on your device, open up a writing surface. I always like to write my prompt somewhere first, like in my note-taking app, for example, and then copy that into the AI that I'm using later. But as we learned, like writing a prompt is the main practice. So I invite you to get settled. It can be Apple Notes, Word, whatever text documents people are using these days. There's nothing wrong, just like need some space to fill in text. And then I'm going to give you a pretty detailed list of the first 4 steps. And you can just copy them over and fill in the blanks. So I'm going to put that in a chat in a second. So first we have context, and here you write, I am a, fill in the blank, like what are you, what's your role, be as specific as you can. And you want to go. This I was pretty tricky to design that prompt so it speaks to all of your needs. Let's see how that works. So you write your goal and then you write your problem. So just filling out this thing, I'm sure will give you a lot of clarity because you're like, really, yeah, what is my goal? What is my problem? That can help a lot. After the context, we're gonna go to role. The first role I give you, your experience with creative use of AI. And the second one, you can like tweak it a little bit more and say, okay, you're also an expert in field specialization, like really something that you need an expert in. Then the assignment will be for it to give you 10 practical ways to use AI in your work, because we all have different contexts. So let's see what comes out there. I'm also curious. I'm gonna do the exercises with you. So let's see what comes out there. And then lastly, outcomes. Be more concrete, specific of like what you want it for, what are the outcomes. And lastly, you give it a little bit about the style that you want to have it. So this is a practice, and I'm gonna put these things in the chat. You should be able to copy them into your thing. And yeah, let's just take around 6 or 7 minutes. I'm gonna play a few more songs to just write out that prompt. Play some music. As I said, it's copyright-free music, so I can upload it into YouTube. It's not my favorite music, but I hope you still like it. And if you have questions, put them in the chat. Well, it's just asking if you can do it in your mother language. Yeah, feel free to. You can, of course, ask AI to translate it for you, but you can also just write the prompt in your language. Really treat it as your magic fairy, like what you can wish for, like be as wild as you can get on that. Yeah, and whenever you're ready, you can copy this into your favorite AI tool if you have one already. If you don't use AI yet, I can give you the link to Perplexity. The cool thing about Perplexity is you don't need an account to sign up, which like I hate it when I need to sign up to something new. So I thought that would be nice. I personally use often ChatGPT because I just like the voice mode, and I like Claude as well. Maybe Claude, you want to use Claude? Um, we're going to take about 2 more minutes to finish your prompt and to type it into AI and see what you get. And then afterwards we'll exchange about that. Giving us a more poetic, emotional, intelligent chatbot. Another one. Hey, so anyone needs more time, give me a sign. If not, I would put you into breakouts because then you can really like look at your results together. Uh, okay, Jana needs a little bit more time. So the rest can just like have a look what you got and if it helped you or not. Okay. So I will now put into breakouts, but in the breakouts, you can really use your time. We will have like 5 minutes each to first arrive together, but then also to you just sharing, like the idea is like one person is sharing and the other person is listening. So we really have like take turns. So one person can go deeper into the exploration and you can just like say, what did you get out of this? Like the presentation, but also the prompt. Was there something new? Are you missing anything? So person A gets 4 to 5 minutes, and then we switch and person B gets 4 to 5 minutes. And I'm gonna also give you the concrete example timings in the chat. And then afterwards, we will just have open space for conversation and these kind of things. So have fun and see you in 10 minutes. So what are we taking away from the session? As I said, and as we all said, stay critical. Don't outsource your critical thinking. Actually, I think there's a potential here for all of us to, improve our critical thinking because you really gotta like check, is that information right? Do I resonate with this design? Whatever. Stay critical. Stay editing your work. I think that's like one guideline. Just don't take the shortcut. Cut it short, but don't take the shortcut. Always think through it. Don't take the ready-made thing, but at least edit it. And writing prompts boost your clarity and creativity, especially if you like go wild on a prompt. So take the craft concept. I'm going to share the list with you in my newsletter as well, all the little things, also the tweak and iterate things. So you can just like copy paste that if you want to get started with craft and, fill in the blanks. Yeah, and if you're up for more, I have more things coming up. Well, first of all, just follow my newsletter. That is the place where I share all of my insights and ideas, and it's really diverse. Like this time was more about AI, but I'm also like, I think I'm just mainly sharing creative tools. So visualization is another creative tool, or maybe it's everything is business related, so it's all like meant to support you in your process of expressing your essence. And I think having a business that expresses your essence is essential for that. Yeah, just read that, comment and respond, by the way. You can do that, and I love to hear from you whenever you have an idea. And I do visual coachings. Right now I'm pretty booked out, but just so you know that I do visual coaching as a new tool that I've developed where, you tell me a situation, I draw it, and we unleash your creativity. That's kind of the idea. It's 90 minutes via Zoom, and I charge 150 euro net for that. If you're interested, just message me. Right now, venture is running, so it's a bit full, but generally, if you have a calling, I have that. I also have a new masterclass. I just love doing these things because that's really a space where I can play around. And next time, I want to do something about how to learn and master skills with AI because I think that's really one of the main application that I've been using it for, like learning. And I want to go wild into that, and I want to share the best with you in about a month, Wednesday, 28th, um, same time, same place. And invitation will come by newsletter. And then towards autumn, I will also do another venture journey, probably. So just stay tuned for that. That's kind of like this 4 month journey that really helps you to design your business. So that maybe starts in October. But for now, I just want to thank you for being here. If you have any more thoughts, drop a comment. I will share the recording and the presentation in the next newsletter. And yeah, looking forward to be creating more with you all. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna stop the recording now